We start our baths by trimming nails. The nails should be trimmed every time you give a bath. Persians have nails that grow in a curved down towards the pad, and if you don't trim them on a regular basis, they can grow into the paw pad and cause a lot of pain. So you put your thumb on the end and you push the nail out, and you don't want to cut anywhere that's pink. You just want to be taking the tip of the nail off. Everybody, the little finger's the hardest to do. And then we do the other one. Make sure you start with the thumbnail, so to speak. It's a little bit behind the others, but this is the biggest culprit in growing into the pad. And again, this doesn't hurt Kitty. If you're uncomfortable cutting, then cut narrower. The other smart thing about doing this before baths is it means if Kitty gets excited, they don't have sharp claws. You'll notice the scissors I'm using are curved, and that allows me to cut them without cracking the nail. The ones that look like pliers have a tendency you can't see exactly where you're cutting, and you can tell this is a very small area. So if you use a thick scissor, you're not able to be as accurate. Because he's being groomed today, we always clean their eyes every day. A couple of drops of artificial tears. And a little piece of paper towel to wipe the excess off. And this should be done every day. Okay, now he's ready to start his bath. What we want to do is let Kitty down. You can see he's not exactly thrilled with this, but they tend to survive it. Now that you've got Kitty wet, and one other thing too, make sure before you put Kitty in the water that you turn it on before and check the temperature so that it's not too hot or too cold for Kitty. Now you notice, because of his long fur, that though he's wet, he's not actually wet all the way down. It's actually dry at the skin. So one of the things we're going to do to make sure that we get Kitty nice and clean is we're going to soap him twice. The areas that tend to be a problem for kittens are behind the ears. And you can see it looks really dry there. So anyway, we're going to put a little Dawn dish soap right here. We're going to do his other ear. And you're not trying to soap the whole thing, but the Dawn will pull away the oil from the skin so that he doesn't get little mats. The other problem areas tend to be right here. And we're going to put some soap right there. Now, because he is a baby, we do need to do around his face. This is a white kitty, so he has a tendency to get stuff. And we're going to use a little bit of Johnson's baby shampoo so that we make sure that we're not hurting his eyes. You soap his little face. And Persians have, you see the creases there? You need to pull those out and make sure that you're getting the soap in that crease. Okay, now we're going to I'm using a whitener on him because he's mostly white cat. And we want him to look brilliantly pretty. Make sure you get the nether regions as well with the soap. And the paws. And now we are going to, again, make sure the water temperature is safe before we put Kitty in. And if you're comfortable, you can just leave the water running. I turned it off so you could hear me talk, but you don't necessarily have to turn it off between soaping. Now in this, what we're doing is just making sure we get all that soap and water down to the skin. We're going to rinse once. And then we're going to soap again. When you soap the second time, that's when generally all the soap gets where it needs to go. Again, make sure your soap gets into his private parts so that he is nice and clean everywhere. When you're rinsing around the ears, you can hold the ears shut so that the water doesn't go in there. Now, I want to make sure that you have all the soap off, because the soap will cause his fur to mat down and he won't look very pretty if you don't. So it looks like our water's running clear. The last thing we do is take a towel and dry Kitty as good as we can. And while we're doing this, and obviously I'm not going to be able to talk once I turn this on, we're going to go ahead and turn the dryer on, because this is not a heated dryer. It warms up as the air flows over the motor. You want to make sure you get their feet. Make sure when you're doing Kitty that you get his feet, because if you use regular cat litter, when he gets in there, that cat litter will attach if his feet are wet to him. Okay, thank you.